Hi everyone, welcome back to Stationeers. Right, so last time we built our first airlock and we've got a box that is going to be our greenhouse. But before we move any further with that, we need to start thinking about our first storm that will be coming kind of from tomorrow, any day now. Well, any day then I should say. I'm running a little low on power, so I'm going to stick some coal in there just to keep our our batteries somewhat charged. But yeah, we need to start planning for the storm because at the moment we haven't got a door. So when a storm occurs, it will cause damage to anything that is loose. So all of this will start taking damage. The temperature and pressure will also change on the planet. Doesn't really matter too much, but it's just something that we should be aware of. So what we need to do is get everything that we've got moved inside. Now, we don't really have too much. I could probably just grab this. So I've closed the crate, and I'm just going to get my wrench. And you can remove these from your lander. So if I just hold left click, pop, there we go. We could do the same with basically all the crates, but most of them are empty. We could do it with the tanks as well. So we'll remove that tank, and we'll remove that tank. There we go. With the tanks, grab them by the little handles on the sides, and then just walk with them into your base. And we want to get to a point now where all of our stuff is inside, and a lot of the time we'll be working on the inside of our base. So I'm just going to take these in, and just plop them down somewhere, pressing Q. Back to the storms, they won't damage structures. So anything that's welded in place, so your frames, your walls, your doors, that kind of stuff is fine. The one thing they will damage, however, are your solar panels. There is a hardened variant of the solar panel. They're called heavy variants. But we're not at a point where we can make those yet. And to be fair, you probably won't be for a little while. So I'll show you after the storm hits, whether it'll be today or the next one, I don't know, how we repair the solar panels, both in a legit way and a somewhat cheesy way. But yeah, with the containers, just click on the handle and then kind of just walk with them, really. I don't know if it still happens. There used to be a bug or a bit of an annoyance where you would carry one of these crates, and if you walked into something with it, it would cause damage to you. That might still be a thing. So just be mindful whenever you are carrying them. Give it a little bit of space. Don't walk too close to walls. Don't walk too close to the mountains or whatever. We are struggling for power quite a lot, so we're probably at a good point as well to start looking at a battery ready for the storm. But at the moment, I'm just chucking everything on the floor. Not my ice, though. Oh, speaking of ice, actually, I need to let you know. So, I received another comment from a subscriber, so thank you very much. And basically, what they reminded me to tell you was that ices melt, which you are obviously very aware of. To stop them from melting, put them either in your jetpack, your mining belt, or you can get mining backpacks. If you have them in your hand, they will melt. If you have them just on the floor, it will melt. Assuming that the temperature of wherever you've chucked it is above 0 degrees C or in direct sunlight. So if I had a vacuum space in here, but I had windows that the sun was shining on, that would also cause my ices to melt. So it's always good practice just to have those somewhere safe, out of sunlight, just out of the way, and you're not going to have any kind of issues there. I'm just going to grab my fuel tank as well. And we're going to take this inside. Some people might say you probably shouldn't take the fuel tank inside. What if the worst happens? We'll be fine. We'll be fine. So once we've got everything emptied, we are pretty much good out here. I don't think there's anything over here. Nope, we got all that, so we are good. We've got these little pipe segments here, which, to be fair, will be fine, but I'm going to move them anyway. And let's take these inside. And we'll just pop them here. Okay. Next thing we need to do is we just need a door. We need to split the inside from the outside. I'm just gonna keep on top of my coal power for now, just whilst we're doing stuff. So yeah, we need to make a door. It doesn't have to be powered or anything like that. We could use a manual door for now. It doesn't really matter. The game calculates rooms based on doors. And obviously windows and frames, but a door is how you pass from one to the other. So in the auto leave, I'm going to search for door, and I want kit door. I need some iron and some copper. I've got the copper. I don't know if I have any iron. I've got a little bit. As you can see from my mining belt at the bottom, I did some mining at the end of the last video. Hopefully you've done the same. And you've just got a little bit of everything that we can crack on. You can see that we're gaining power. I don't know if that's because my generator is still on. It's just turned off. And we're still gaining. So there's still some power to be made from our wind turbines and whatever. But yeah, not much. So with the door, you've obviously, like we did with the greenhouse, you've got the composite door, which is this one. You've got the glass door. But there's also the manual hatch. And that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to just place this here. And then I'm going to get my welder. And I think I need some iron sheets. Which I'm hoping I have somewhere. I do, over here on my floor. So I'm just going to weld this up. Okay. Now, just bear in mind that this door isn't really great. This isn't an airlock. We haven't got this space vacuumed or pressurized or whatever. All this door is going to be doing is splitting the outside from the inside when the storm hits. It just means that all that stuff on the floor in there is going to be fine. Now, something that would be quite nice is to know when the storm is coming, because then we get a bit of a warning. So let's see if we can build ourselves a weather station. I think it's in the electronics printer, so head over to it and type in weather. And there you can see we've got our weather station. We need iron, gold, copper, and steel. So we'll grab our stuff, put it in here. I need more copper. I have a gram in there. Just stick everything in there, to be honest. I also need steel, which we made loads of last time. And more iron. Now, because I've done the mining, I'm going to have to go and get this processed. So we're going to head over to our furnace. Make sure it's empty. And if it is, then you can leave the lever closed. And we're just going to stick our iron in. Remember that the furnace has to be above 100 degrees C in order for it to process anything. So as long as it's above 373K, then it will melt your iron or whatever you've got in there. It just won't produce an ingot for you. We need some heat for that. Yep, we got that. So then if we stick an oxide in, hit the button, and there we go. We've got pressure and temperature. And we should be able to get to a temperature. Yeah, there we go. Green light. Give us our iron. And while I'm here, I'm going to stick my gold in there as well. Just so I've got it sorted. Because we should be fine. There we go. Now, the furnace is getting relatively high pressure, which means it's going to start becoming more difficult for us to get it up to temperature. So because we're not going to use it right now, I'm going to open the valve that we set up. And we're going to just get the furnace emptied. Okay. On Mars, this is fine. On any other planet, you'd probably want to be capturing that in a tank or something. Because there's a lot of CO2 in there that we could be using. But again, because we're on Mars, we've got unlimited CO2. We're not concerned really about it. But there we go. I got my iron. So let's stick that in there. And let's build a weather station. Now that will take a few minutes. Whilst it's doing that... I should have got my iron out. That's fine. It won't take too long. Let's look at the weather station. So let's go to the Stationpedia and search for weather. And there's our weather station. So this is what it looks like, and we'll build it in a second. And if we wanted to code it, we could see there we've got like different numbers that mean no storm, storm incoming, or in storm. We can see from the build states that we're going to need 3 plastic sheets. The rest of this information in here is for automating. We aren't going to worry about that right now. All we're going to do is build the weather station, and it will give us a visual on when there's a storm coming. So if I get some plastic sheets, and what we'll do as well is we'll place this outside because it doesn't work inside. So get a frame, and I've got some iron sheets. There's our weather station. Let's go and get it built. So we may as well have it on the outside of a window so that we can see it easily. Let's go on the other side since we've got loads of space over here. Let's plonk a frame down, and then we will get that welded. We only need to put 1 in. We're not bothered about it being airtight. Get the weather station, and you'll notice that it has 2 ports. There's a power port and a logic port. We're not going to automate this right now, so we only really care about the power port. So just plonk it down on your frame. Get your plastic sheets. You can see that it wants the welder. So let's get the welder. Job done. Now all we need to do is get that cabled. So we'll go back inside. And you can see that I did it so the power port is against the window. And all I'm going to do is just run that in. Past all my stuff. Straight across the room. There's better ways of organising this. Right now, just want it connected. There we go. That's on. Now all I need to do is go and turn it on. So you'll see there's a little power switch. Turn it on, and the light is green. The light being green means there's no storm incoming, so you're safe. Once that light turns yellow, you have about 10 minutes before the storm hits. So at that point, it's worth making sure that you've got all your stuff inside and everything is kind of secure. You don't have to come inside yourself because you can survive in the storm. It just becomes very difficult to use your jetpack. So we're going to leave that on, and we'll just keep an eye on it. Now, in the top right hand corner, you can see that I have a triangle with a percentage next to it. That is my oxygen. It has taken 7 days before we've had to refill our oxygen up, which is, again, means that it shows you that you don't have to be rushing. We started with an oxygen tank. Okay, if we get our tablet out that I mentioned in the last one, we can see that it's got 7.71 megapascal of oxygen. It's just pure oxygen, there's nothing else in there. And the temperature is at 19.8 degrees Celsius. In your suit, you have your air tank. What we're going to do is we're going to drag the air tank into here, and then we're going to drag it back.
Air tank critical.
There we go. What happened is we put the canister in. The pressure between the tank and the canister split so that both became the same pressure, and now I'm full. If I look in the tank, I still have 7.17 megapascal. Okay, you have got a lot of oxygen. You don't need to rush. Mars is easy. You breathe really slowly. You've got plenty of time before you have to start panicking about that. Right. The next thing I think we should do is we should get some lockers up because it's a little bit of a mess in here. We don't really want all this stuff here. It's going to get in the way. The tanks, I'm going to put in the greenhouse because that is going to be the room where we kind of sort ourselves out, where we have something to eat, we have something to drink, we refill our oxygen, etc., etc. The fuel tank I am not putting in the greenhouse. If that explodes at some point because we're careless, we're not going to want to damage the greenhouse. So we're going to keep that somewhere else for now. Everything else, so the survival supplies, our these supplies actually, so the green crate, your hydroponics, this is all of your greenhouse stuff. So you've got seeds, you've got trays, you've got water, you've got a bottle filler, you've got a connector, you've got pipes. This wants to go in the greenhouse. That's where that's going to be used. So let's get all this stuff shifted and just give ourselves some space. So I'm just going to dump this here. And I'll get my other one. And that can go over here as well. Let's pop back through. Get our crate. And this you'll have to do a bit of jiggery pokery to try and get it through. Be careful, they are known to smash you in the face, which isn't a good day for anyone. So just try your best to kind of like stand in a certain position and then clip on the handle. It will try and help you. It will like appear in a certain direction to you. Just be careful. Don't try and pick it up too close to a wall. So if I was to pick this up here, that would probably clip into the wall and could smash me in the face. So just be very, very careful. Right, next thing I want to do is I want to go out here and I want to have a drink because my water is currently pretty low. Any bottles that are empty are pretty much a waste at this point because later on in the game you can recycle them, but it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth making the device right now, so I'm just going to chuck it outside. Okay, you can refill them, but again, you start with so many bottles, you're not going to need all of these. So as long as you keep 2 empty bottles, then you're fine. You don't need any more than that. I love the fact that I can eat with my helmet. I never play like this. So it's a nice change of pace for me. Okay. Next thing, we're going to make some lockers. So grab your iron, wherever it is. Mine is in my electronics printer. And head over to the auto lathe. So in this game, your storage options are the floor, obviously your devices, your printers, or lockers. I'm going to print out 2. This will just take a second. Checking my storm, I can see it's still green, so there's no storm coming. I don't know if the length of time between storms is different on easy. All I know is that they still happen. If you're playing on normal or above, I've always found that the storm is going to happen at some point on day 7 or day 8, and it's about every 7 days from there. So I've got my locker, so let's move this fuel tank yet again and just move some of this rubbish that we've got here. So when you hold the locker in your hand and you right click, you'll get your hologram. You can press C to rotate. And before you place it, you've got various different types of lockers. Some of them are shelves to go on the wall. Some of them are kind of freestanding. Others are kind of there as a bit of an overhead kind of locker. Some of the lockers are really annoying. So for example, this one, if I place it on a frame, fine, that will be absolutely fine. If I place it on a wall, I won't be able to see the items in it, which actually really irritates me. I hope that they fix that at some point. But for now, what we're going to do is we are going to use this locker. Just because it's just a nice big one, it's tidy, it's got lots of spaces. Hold left click. And there we go, there's your locker. Click on the doors, and there's your space. You've got 30 slots, which is loads. And all you do is simply pick up your stuff and just left click in the slots. So we're going to go around and just tidy up. And what this means is if we accidentally leave our door open, these won't get damaged. Even if the locker door is open, they still will not take damage. They just need to be not loose on the ground. So we're going to grab absolutely everything. It'll just take a second. Some of this can probably go in the greenhouse, but we'll deal with that later. Right now, let's just get it off the floor. If we had an airlock on the front of our base, then I wouldn't even worry about this. But right now, all we've got is a manual hatch. And we have to, like, manually, obviously, open and close that. And I can't see again. We are going to sort this out shortly. We're going to do some quality of life stuff. Ah, crap. Where's my battery gone? There we go. Boom. Now also, I'm going to turn that off for now. I'm going to let my APC hopefully charge a bit more. Because we're not doing well on power right now. But we'll sort it. We'll sort it. That one can go in there. So that one just has locker, tables, a microwave, some eggs, and a mount. But yeah, that can go in there. That one we don't really need right now. But we'll cover that one at some point. We'll just place everything else in your locker. I don't really know why you start with flags. I don't think anyone ever deals with flags. And I'm just going to stick a cereal bar in the greenhouse. If you want to take the crates down, use your drill. There we go. And I don't want to keep the crate, so I'm just going to chuck that outside. The storms will deal with that for me, so it will blow that away. And I won't have to worry about it anymore. The only thing left on the floor are my ingots. And obviously, we don't want to lose these, so let me just go and divvy them up between my various printers. Put you in there. And there we go. Apart from this tank, we are nice and clear. And we can even close our locker, look. So everything's nice and tidy. Boom. Right. Next. When the storm comes, our wind turbines are going to have a party. Okay? Our wind turbines will push out a lot more power during a storm. However, we don't currently have a lot of power storage. All we've got is this like single large battery that we have in here. And that will fill up before you know it. If that gets full and the storm is still going, you are wasting that storm. That storm, if used correctly, could power your base until the next storm. And you may never have power problems again. So we're now going to make ourselves a couple of station batteries. So in the electronics printer, search for battery. And you'll see kit battery. Now you can see it needs steel. But we made that last time. Or the time before, I can't quite remember. So we're going to make a couple of these. We need a lot of gold, a lot of copper, a lot of steel. So grab your ingots. Stick them in the electronics printer. And this guy has stuff as well. And just get them going. So I can see that I need more copper. Because I would like to make a couple of batteries. So I'm going to quickly go out and do some more mining. And this is the perfect opportunity to show you a different drill. So if you go into your Stationpedia and search for drill, you'll find that there's a few different hand drills. You got the Mark II, you got the pneumatic drill. Further down there's the mining drill heavy. The mining drill heavy is the one that I eventually aim for, but we're not in the position for that right now. But if you look up here, we have the pneumatic mining drill. And what this does is it just runs on gas. I don't know if it has to be fuel or if it's just pressure. I'm not sure. But if we have a look in here, we have mining supplies. Let's unpack it. And as you unpack it, you'll get different items. So just chuck them on the floor. There's another mining belt. And there's our pneumatic drill. The pneumatic drill has a canister. If we chuck that canister on the floor and then use our tablet, we can see that it currently has nitrogen. Nitrogen isn't combustible, so all this is doing is running on pressure. So we will be able to create a setup where we just gather some pressure from Mars and just keep this drill fueled. It doesn't require power. It will just run on gas, so that is also going to help us because, let's face it, we don't have any power. So I'm going to put the canister back in my drill. And I'm going to put my ices in my mining belt because we got another mining belt. So we're going to use this one. What I'll do is the one that has my ices in. I will chuck that on the floor here and just leave it here. Whereas we'll use the pneumatic one. Let me just sort this out. So I'm going to put my oxygen into there. So that is where we're going to store our ices, in that belt. And what we'll do as well is let's go and have a play with some of these mining charges, shall we? The flare gun I never use. It's just for a bit of fun. Don't even worry about it. We're not going to do anything with that. We're just going to chuck it on the floor because I've got too much stuff in my locker. Right, let's take these and we'll show you how these work because they're quite nice and fun. We've got no storm coming, so we're okay. We'll leave that battery there. We'll sort it out when we get back. Let's go and find some copper because that's what we primarily want. And daylight is coming, so we should be able to see surface ores, which will help. Where are we? Any copper? I see some iron there. We're not desperate for iron right now. Where is the copper? I think I can see loads just right over there, I think. I'm wasting jetpack, but it's not a difficult thing to refill. We'll sort that probably next time. Oh, I think I can see some copper just there. I'm going to turn my light off so I save some power. Yep, this is copper. Don't know how much is here, but let me show you the mining charge. So, if you have a stack of mining charges, they only stack into stacks of 3. Click on it, split one. If you don't split one and you chuck the entire stack down, it will only count as a single mining charge. It's a waste. So split it and chuck it on the floor. Hit the lever on the front and you can see it says you have a 10-second timer. Press the button and just back off a little bit. After a few seconds, kapow! The mining charges do not destroy the ore. So as you can see there, look, we've got loads of ore and we didn't have to do anything. And with your drill equipped, I don't even have to turn it on. I can just hold left click and I can vacuum up the ore. And if I have my mining belt in my belt slot, they will just go in there automatically. Now that we've obviously we can see these, I am just going to mine these with the drill now. Just means I don't have to waste too much time looking. But look at the speed of this drill. This is so much better. It's definitely worth, as soon as you can, either using this drill if you started with it, or get it made. Like I said, it runs on pressure. It doesn't have to be a fuel mix. And at some point, I'll show you how we do that. You could, if you wanted to, put your waste tank in here. And that will also keep the drill working. I have very quickly filled my inventory of ore. So let's move them. And let's get some more. I'm not going to waste too much time in this hole. We've pretty much got what we can see. So let's move to another vein. There is a way later on where you can see what is underground, and we'll get to that. But that's a little bit more late game. Well, mid to late game, I should say. Okay, that would do. Got some copper. Let's do another mining charge just for the hell of it. I'm going to drop one here. I'm going to drop it on the floor. Hit the lever. And you know what? Let's do the same here. I'm going to drag that there. Hit the lever. And just run. One gone. Two gone. Massive, massive craters. But look at all of our lovely copper. So I'm just going to grab this. There we go. Easy peasy. Grab that little bit there. Oh, there's more. Let's grab that. Oh, I hate leaving the ones that I can see. Oh, no, there's so much. There's just so much copper. Oh, there's more. Now I got iron. But as you can see now, we're pretty full. So let's do that. Chuck that there. And just vacuum up what we can see. Ah, so much. But we're pretty good now. We've got a lot of copper, a lot of gold, a lot of iron. The mining charges are fun. They're just not something that you really need. I mean, the game gives them to you, so use them. But, I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about purposely going out looking for them or making them. You've got a drill that is more than adequate for the job. Or maybe you just like blowing things up, in which case, do what you want. Right, we can see there that the temperature in there has got quite low, which means I am not going to be able to process anything in there because it is below 100 degrees C. So let's go and get our mining belt, the one that has our ices in. And let's get a bit of a fuel mix going. Obviously we emptied, so let's do that. Make sure it's closed. Make sure there's nothing in it. If there is, you would open this. I'm going to open this anyway so I get multiple stacks. And I'm just going to put in some ice. Don't forget, it's a 2-to-1. So you're looking for 2 volatile and 1 oxygen. I put 4 volatile and 2 oxygen in. And there we go. We've got a nice hot furnace. So now I'm just going to drag these ices in. And ices, sorry. I'm going to drag the ores in. And it'll just make me multiple stacks. And yeah, this is pretty much it, really. We'll do the iron next, because if you check in your Stationpedia, iron requires a warmer temperature in order to be processed, whereas copper and gold don't need as much temperature. If you were doing silicon, you would do silicon first. We're just going to continue using this until we run out of heat. We're getting to it. But we may as well use all of our heat and pressure that we've got and just don't be wasteful. Right, we're going to do the copper next. Just because it's copper that we're after. Now we'll do gold. And then we'll just finish off with our copper. We are still good on the temperature. There we go. That is all of our ore. And we've done it. Look at all that lovely ore or ingots that we've got. Lovely jubbly. Put that in there. Unfortunately, these ingots won't stack. I could have done an entire ingot at a time, so I could have left the lever closed and done all my iron. But then I don't currently have a way to split it. So it's just ideal for me right now to have each 50 of each ingot split, and then every printer can have some. And now let's just release that pressure, get the furnace emptied. While we're in here, I think we should make another locker, because we've got a lot of ingots on the floor. So let's build a couple of them. And we can get another battery made now. So let's do that. We can actually make another 2. And you know what? We're going to go for 2. The storm still isn't coming, so we're good. We're going to keep an eye on it. But the more batteries we can get, the more value we will get from a storm. So there's one. Oh, I've got both my lockers, so stop the auto leave. And now let's place this locker over here. There we go. Now I can put all my ingots in here. Keep it nice and organized. And it just helps me see what I've got, what I need to go and get if I'm running out. As you can currently see from that, I'm running a little low on gold. To be honest, you don't use gold as often as the other two, so I'm not going to worry about it. And what I will also do, just for the sake of doing it, I'm going to put my food and water in there as well. This is my food, water, and ingot locker. And the other one is my everything else locker. So I should be able to get everything in here now. Like so. Take that food, put you there. How you getting on? 50%, almost done. But yeah, nice and tidy. I changed my mind. I am going to put the fuel in the greenhouse. Mainly because I don't want it to take damage when the storm hits. It's not going to stay in here permanently. But for now, it's not going to hurt anything for it just to sit in a corner. So we'll do this. And there we go. All of our stuff is in here. That is my ice one. So let me put my coal in that one. So this is my spare / ice mining belt. The one I have is going to be my everyday using mining belt. It has my better drill in it. We're going to run out of power. So let's go and chuck some coal in my generator. Whoops. And it looks like we just made that battery. We're going to make one more. So, the batteries. If you press F1, search for battery. You've got the station battery. There is a larger variant to it, but you need advanced alloys. We don't have that yet. So we're making these ones. As you can see, it needs 2 steel sheets, and then you just need to screwdriver it. So, we need to place these batteries somewhere, in which is going to charge our base. Now, our power is coming from up there. So what we need to do is we need to run that cable into these batteries, and then those batteries need to feed our base. So what I'm going to do, because we haven't got this place pressurized, we can still like make changes to it. So I'm going to take this wall off. So I use the crowbar and the angle grinder. And then I'm going to remove this frame. Now, don't worry about things that are sat on frames. They don't, the gravity doesn't affect structures. So I could take out that entire frame and it would just float. I'm going to put the frame on the floor instead. Grab my iron sheets. Get my welder. Weld that up. I need more iron sheets. I have some. There we go. And now I just need some walls, which again I have. There. Let's place a wall there, there, and up there for the ceiling as well. Put our iron sheets in. There we go. And now all we need to do is rejig these cables so that they're not just kind of floating there. And this is going to be where we place our batteries. But we're going to keep this one short. We're going to leave it there. Not much happened in this one, I'll be honest. We obviously are just prepping for the storm, but we've made it much tidier now. We've got plenty of ingots going. We've got our weather station up and running, which is good. Next time we will get our batteries placed in time for the storm. And then that should be our power issues sorted out. For the short term anyway. So pretty much a short one, a bit of casual one. But yeah, hopefully that's just the next step to what is going to be a pretty amazing base. And if you're playing along, I've got to say, your base is looking good. Obviously I don't know that. I assume it is. It's probably looking better than mine. But there we go. So, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care and enjoy playing Stationeers. Bye.